Welcome to the online course of Software Project Management. I am your instructor, Dr. Shafaq Sadiq from Institute of Computing. The topic for today's lecture will be work breakdown structure and work breakdown structure in agile methodology. So let's start the lecture. Work breakdown structure is actually dividing a project into smaller, simpler, and more manageable units. The purpose of work breakdown structure is to divide the larger task into smaller chunks of manageable units so that these smaller chunks can be easily supervised and estimated. When we talk about estimation, then we can easily estimate the cost and time efforts of the smaller chunks of the project. Work breakdown structure breaks a project into hierarchy of deliverable, task and subtask. We can say that work breakdown structure is a tool that defines a detailed cost estimate or time estimate, and it will provide us guidance for the scheduled development and control of a project. Let's understand the concept of work breakdown structure using a simple example like Hello World system. So at level 1 we have a complete system or project, that is Hello World system, and now we want to compile its work breakdown structure. So at the first level we have divided this into initiation, planning, execution and control, and closeout. So see, the complete project at level 1 is divided into 4 units or 4 tasks, that is initiation, planning, execution and control, and closeout. Now see, after this we have further divided these tasks into subtasks. So at level 1.1 we have divided initiation into develop business case, assign project manager, develop project charter. Now see, at the planning phase we have divided it into perform primary planning and perform supplementary planning. The primary planning is further divided into subtasks and supplementary planning is further divided into subtasks. So we can divide the task to its simplest level or at the level where we cannot further divide it. Similarly, execution and control is divided into subtasks, and lastly the closeout is shown in the figure. Now let's see definition of work breakdown structure according to the project management body of knowledge. Project management body of knowledge is a set of standard terminologies and guidelines for project management. So according to it, a work breakdown structure is a hierarchical decomposition of total scope of a work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. If you consider the last example, so there you can see that there is the hierarchical decomposition of the complete work of a project to complete the project objectives and to create the required deliverables. Now, how can we structure the work in WBS or work breakdown structure? So there are typically three ways in which we can structure different tasks or subtasks in work breakdown structure. First one is phase-based structures, second is deliverable-based structure, and third one is responsibility-based structure. So we will discuss these structures in the next 3 slides with an example. Now first is phase-based structures. In phase-based structure, we divide the complete project scope with respect to different project phases. For example, here you can see that we have the project of library management system, that is at the topmost level, and in the next level we have divided it into different units based on the project phases like planning, execution and control, and closeout. So see, here we have divided the work scope with respect to different phases of a project, and in different phases we have further divided it into subtasks. Like planning is divided into develop work breakdown structure, develop project schedule, develop resource plan, compile the project plan, approve project plan. And similarly, the further two phases are divided into subtasks and further into different tasks. The next scheme for structuring work breakdown structure is deliverable based structures. And as its name suggests that here the work breakdown structure is divided based on the deliverables of a project. Consider the example of DAT insurance here. So at the topmost level, we have the complete project scope, and at the next level, we will be dividing it based on the deliverables of a project. Like at the first level, we have divided it based on the first deliverable, that is unified CRM, customer relationship management, back office suite, and user manual. And all these deliverables are further divided into different tasks and subtasks. The third and last scheme is responsibility based structure. Here we would be dividing the work scope based on the responsibilities or teams within a project. So consider here the example of online shopping. So at the topmost level, we have a complete system, that is online shopping, and at the next level, we have divided the work of a project into different teams like project management team, core project team, and testing team. Now the project management team is further divided into different tasks, that is develop project plan, report status, report risk, and so on. Similarly, the core project team is divided into design team and programming team. The design team is further divided into web UI, design web UI, and design admin UI. And programming team is divided into develop shopping site and develop admin plan. Similarly, at the last level, the testing team is further divided into test shopping site, test admin panel, and develop testing report. So see here, the work breakdown structure divides the project scope based on the teams or responsibility of different members within a team. When we talk about work breakdown structure, so there are some design principles that should be considered while making a work breakdown structure. So first one principle is 100% rule. According to 100% rule, it states that the work breakdown structure includes complete work defined by the project scope, and it should capture all deliverables. These deliverables can be either internal deliverables, external deliverables, or interim deliverables in terms of a work to be completed. So 100% rule is the most important principle that applies at all levels of hierarchy. That is, at any level, the sum of work at the child level must be equal to the 100% of the work represented by the parent. And it also states that it should not include any work that falls outside the scope of a project. That is, on one hand, it says that it includes 100% of a work, but on the other side, it says that no work that falls outside the scope of a project should be included in work breakdown structure. The second principle is mutually exclusive elements, and as its name suggests that no two elements in the project scope overlap in the definition, means the different elements should be different. There is no duplication between different elements of work breakdown structure. So if there is a duplication or ambiguity, then it will it will lead to the miscommunication of responsibility and authority, and also it will result in inaccurate cost estimation or time estimation. Next is plan outcomes or deliverables, not actions. So while specifying the elements of work breakdown structure, we should specify the outcomes or deliverables of a project and not the actions that are required to complete uh, that specific task or problem. So if we specify actions, then it will violate the 100% rule, either by exceeding more of the parent scope or in the shortage of the 100% of the parent scope. So the best way is to define the work breakdown structure in terms of the results or outcomes of a project or elements, not actions. The next rule is or design principle for work breakdown structure is reasonable level of detail. That is, we should add the reasonable level of detail within a single element of work breakdown structure. Or in other words, we have to say that when we have to stop dividing the task into smaller tasks. For most of the projects, the hierarchy of 2 to 4 levels is enough. There are some heuristics that can be used while determining the appropriate duration for activity or group of activities. First one is 80 hours rule, which means that no single activity at the lowest level can exceed 80 hours of effort. The second rule is that no activity at the lowest level of detail should be longer than single reporting period. For example, if a single reporting period for some activity is 40 days, then no activity should be longer than 40 days. And the next is that while deciding a duration for any activity, we should use a common sense that how much time this activity will take. So these design principles should be kept in mind while designing work breakdown structure. Next are the goals for work breakdown structure. The first one goal for work breakdown structure is to give visibility to important work efforts. Means the work breakdown structure identifies or shows the major efforts or the major works that have to be completed for the given project. Next, it will also specify any risks involved at any level of the project execution or compilation. Also, it relates the correlation between different activities involved in a project and the corresponding deliverables associated with that activities. Also, it shows the ownership by the task leaders, that is, which tasks should be owned by whom. Now, there are different formats for specifying the work breakdown structure. That is, we can write down the work breakdown structure in form of outline structure, hierarchical structure, tabular view, or tree based. All these formats are discussed in next slides. The first one is outline structure. Here we have taken the example of widget management system. So at the level 1 we have the complete project scope that is defined by this widget management system. At level 1.1 we have divided it into initiation, 1.2 is planning, 1.3 is execution, 1.4 is control, and lastly 1.5 is closeout. These are the major tasks, and these major tasks are divided into further tasks at each level. Next is the hierarchical structure for specifying the work breakdown structure. Here we have taken the same system, that is widget management system, but see we have divided it based on the different levels or hierarchy. Like at the level 1 we have the complete system, that is widget management system. At level 2 we have initiation,
At level 2, we have planning, execution, and so on. And now see that at level 3, we have divided the initiation into evaluation and recommendation, develop project charter, deliverable, that is submit project charter, project sponsor reviews, project charter sign, and similarly at the third level for the planning it is further divided into different tasks, and same is the case for other. Next is retabular view for the same project, that is widget management system. And here you can see that we have divided the work, we have specified the work breakdown structure in a form of a table. That is at level, in the first column of table, at level 1 we have the complete project. In the second column of a table, at level 2 we have initiation, planning, execution, control, and closeout. And similarly at level 3 it is the tasks are further divided into subtasks. So if there are further level we can specify in the next column of level 4. Next is tree-based structure or tree-based format for specifying the work breakdown structure. And as its name suggests that here the work breakdown structure would be specified in a form of a tree. So here at a root level we have the same complete system, that is widget management system. At the next level or the childs of root are initiation, planning, execution, control, and closeout. And these childs are further divided into childs, that is at level 1.1 we have further these subtasks. At level 2 the further subtasks are specified, and so on. The next step in specifying the work breakdown structure is the inclusion of milestones. So what are milestones? Milestones are major events that occur during the course of execution of a project, and they should have the following characteristics. First one is that they are the point in time, therefore they do not have any duration. So in most of the project management softwares, we define milestones by setting the duration of that activity to 0. Secondly, milestones represent major points of progress within a project. So those events should be included as milestones that have significant importance for the project. And lastly, the milestones should be named as past tense. For example, the requirements gathered, design completed, acceptance test completed. Next, I want to discuss with you the breakdown structure in Agile methodology, that how we can use the work breakdown structure in Agile methodology. Agile methodology has been discussed in detail in the last lecture. So the work breakdown structure provide greater advantage when used in the context of Agile methodology. Since you know that work breakdown structure is used to simplify the complex task by breaking down each task into smaller and more manageable subtasks. And as you know that in agile project the work is not completely known at the beginning of a project. The requirements are gathered during the project execution or compilation. So it is not possible to specify the complete work breakdown structure at the very beginning of a project, but we can specify the work breakdown structure at the start of every sprint. And since you know that in agile methodology, the complete feature set is specified in the product backlog, and selected features based on the priority are taken from the product backlog to sprint backlog. So the fact that the projects in Agile are broken down into small time slices, that is sprints, makes Agile and work breakdown structure natural partners for the best result. So we have to use work breakdown structure to break down the tasks found in the backlog before sending them to the next sprint. Thank you. Hope the lecture has clarified your concept regarding the work breakdown structure.